America has spoken, and hybrid technology has surpassed diesel by over 3 to 1 and growing. So Ford wants to cash in. What you see here is the all-new Ford Fusion Hybrid, denoted by this nice logo with the blue highway and the green leaf. But what I love about this vehicle is just how great it looks. I mean, they have really just kind of, changed the whole game of what mid-size sedans should look like, and I love it. I love the way it looks. I mean, if this is not the most beautiful mid-size sedan out there, well, then I don't know what is. So let's start with the front, which in my opinion has drawn from some of the past heritage of Ford's relationship with Aston Martin. Remember, they used to own Aston Martin? I know, but bear with me here for a second. This grille, the way that the headlights look, the sloping hood, everything kind of reminds me of an Aston Martin. Look at this windshield, very raked back. This thing is sleek, this thing is aerodynamic, and if you have to drive a mid-size sedan, why not drive one with a little bit of style? Under the hood, we have a 2-liter Atkinson Cycle inline-4 hybrid engine. Essentially, you have a gasoline engine producing 141 horsepower with a total system power of 188 horsepower, meaning 47 horsepower come from the electric motor. So it's very similar technology to what you'll find in the class-leading Camry Hybrid, for example. The transmission that drives all this is a CVT, which, as you know, we're not big fans of, but yeah, Ford does a decent job with the Fusion, and they claim 47 miles to the gallon in the city and 47 on the highway. Myself and many of my colleagues, we're getting closer to 40, maybe 38, still very respectable numbers for a vehicle of this size. If it's a hybrid, it means it's going to have a lot of batteries and therefore compromised space. As you can see, Ford has chosen to store the batteries in the cargo area. That's what this little shelf here is for. But then again, it's still a pretty sizable trunk, certainly a lot of usable space. And as far as hybrids go, I think they've done a good job of storing the batteries. One of the challenges you get with an aggressive sloping roof design like the Fusion is you get reduced rear headroom and reduced rear legroom as well. So as you can see, at 6'1", I'm relatively cramped in here. That's been one of the complaints about the Fusion and the Malibu. Oddly enough, the American car companies are not paying attention to the back seat like some of the other car companies are. If you like whiny kids, you're in luck. There it is, the sweet sound of a whiny CVT. I'm not picking on Ford because all CVTs pretty much do the same thing, but it is something you have to get used to, and if you don't mind it, you're going to be rewarded with some great fuel economy. Now, overall, I think Ford has done a tremendous job in this interior. Just look at it. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to looking like some kind of, modern, high-tech Scandinavian piece of art. Very sleek design. I think this is very similar to what you see in a lot of the Volvos, this open area, additional storage space, and these large 8-inch screens. Love what they've done. I love the capacitive touch buttons and just all the technology they've used in the screens. The materials are much better. I mean, Ford has come a long way. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where Ford vehicles were not exactly the nicest places to be, especially on the inside. But now they've become one of the best places to be because they've really paid attention to it, and I commend them for that. And after all, this is where you spend a lot of your time. Speaking of the interior, let's talk about the seats for a minute. These seats may not look very comfortable at first. They're made of recyclable material, but spend a little time in them and they are surprisingly supportive. I was pleasantly surprised, and I think you will be too. Another great feature of the Fusion is what a great turning radius it has, which comes in very handy around town. Toyota has clearly established itself as the hybrid technology leader in America. They sell over 230,000 Priuses alone. In this segment, the Camry is still king, but I think the Fusion is going to give the Camry a nice run for its money. And after all, if you want a mid-size sedan that's made in America, this is the only vehicle you can get with a starting price of $27,000, fully loaded around $37,000.